Hi, Cat's Cradle here. I've got some bananas that need to be used. They look pretty dreadful. They're not quite as old as they look. They've just been refrigerated, and that's what happens to bananas when you refrigerate them. They get brown. But I knew I wanted to make some banana blueberry bread today, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start out in the mixer with butter and sugar. No need to fret about the ingredients. If you just click on the Show More button under the video, all of the ingredients and the directions to make the recipe will be there. So let's begin by creaming the butter and sugar. A little bit of mixer noise here. You always want to start out slowly so that you don't throw the sugar out. Then you can increase the speed slightly. I'm going to slowly start adding my eggs. I always crack my eggs into another bowl just to be sure they're good and that I don't have any shell in there. And I'm going to put them in one at a time, beating after each addition. I don't see any sense in heating up my oven for just one loaf of bread, so I always make two. So what you see here is going to be 2 loaves of blueberry banana bread, but you can easily cut the recipe in half if you just want 1 loaf. There's all of my eggs. And in with the liquid, I'm also going to put the vanilla. Excellent. That's all incorporated. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my flour and add my salt and baking soda. I'll use this tiny little whisk. You can use a fork just to incorporate it. The reason you do that is so that you don't have to mix it so long in the mixer, because you don't want to develop any gluten here. You want your banana blueberry bread to be tender and soft and not at all like traditional yeast bread. So I'm doing the mixing by hand here before these ingredients touch the moisture. Okay. I'm also, in a bowl like this, I'm just going to mash my bananas. So I'm going to do that off camera so you don't have to sit and watch me do that. And I'll come back when I have everything else that's ready to go in here. All right, my bananas are mashed and they're ready to go in. I'm going to turn my mixer on low and just push them in. They're mashed really well, so I don't need to do a lot of mixing here. I just want to incorporate them. Excellent. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be alternating. Well, I made a little bit of a mess, didn't I? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be alternating my liquid and my dry ingredients. So here we go. Got a little bit of banana in that. I'm going to put some of the flour, still on low because I don't want to splash. And then a little bit of the buttermilk. You can make buttermilk by mixing a couple of teaspoons of vinegar into regular milk. Let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes and it will curdle nicely for you. Some more buttermilk. I'm just alternating here. I'm going to scrape down the sides in a minute. Okay, stop for a second. I'm going to scoop this little banana I dropped here. And I'm going to scrape down the sides. Right, go again. I'm going to do the remaining flour. And the rest of the buttermilk. I'm going to pour it along the sides. Try to get some of that flour off. Excellent. Stop it one more time. Smells fabulous. All right. I'm going to pause right here to show you what I'm going to do with my frozen blueberries. Come with me to my sink. This is how I like to buy my blueberries. You can buy them in a bag in your freezer section, but I can't see what's in that bag. I like to buy them like this. These are gorgeous, huge blueberries. They freeze perfectly. These berries are more than a year old, and look, they're just as plump and beautiful as they can be. They store perfectly. They're like each enveloped in their own little container. So I'm going to put them into my colander. And I'm going to look for any stems really quickly, because I don't want them to thaw out. I don't want them to muddy my batter. See, there's a stem right there. I'm going to pop that off. Check for any more. There's one. These are gorgeous. The ones that are red are fine. If you're not very familiar with blueberries, the ones that are red are fine. They're just going to be a little more tart. So I don't see any more stems. I'm going to give these a quick rinse and a quick shake in the coldest water possible coming from my faucet. Here we go. Rinse. They still will stay very frozen. Blueberries are very dense. There we go. Now a shake. All right, how do you like that? I think I have to try one of these. Let's go fold these into my batter. You don't want to wait very long after you've washed your berries to get them into the batter, because they are frozen. They will begin sticking together again. So here they go in. At this point, we're just folding them in. You're not going to crush them at this point, really, because like I said, they are very frozen. Wow. Yeah, if you're going to go to this much effort, just make two. And you can throw one in the freezer. How gorgeous does that look? And these berries are spectacular. I don't remember where I got them, but boy, they're delicious. Okay, I'm going to divide this into the two pans that I have that are just loaf pans that I've already spritzed with nonstick spray, and I'll come back and show you how that looks. I've divided my batter between my two loaf pans. The last thing I have to do is mix my cinnamon into my sugar to make my sugary topping for these. You don't have to do this. I like having something on top, and sometimes I like not having to make a glaze or an icing. You can certainly do without if you want to. I love cinnamon though, and it's so good for you. Okay, so we're going to liberally sprinkle this on top. Turn your pan if you need to. Perfect. Let's do one more. Getting to the corners so everybody gets a little bit more. You don't have to use it all. You can save the rest for cinnamon toast. We'll use most of it. Now, if you're crazy about the sugar, in the cinnamon sugar and that flavor, instead of spraying your pan with non-stick spray. You can butter your pan or use shortening on your pan, and then sprinkle your pans with this cinnamon sugar too, so that it's all on the outside. I just don't feel the need to do that. Certainly do not try that if you use non-stick cooking spray, because you'll not have much success in turning them out in whole pieces. So these are going to go into a 375-degree oven. I'll bring you back when they're done. All right, my 2 loaves of blueberry banana bread are out of the oven, and this is exactly how they're supposed to look. Some of the sugar will be a little loose on top, so that when I turn it out of the pan, it'll come off, but most of it sticks to it. They're really hot. I just want you to see these, look at these gorgeous blueberries popping out from here. It looks like the crust of a volcano. It's gorgeous. It's yellow on the inside where the eggs and the butter have colored it, and then you've got these delicious whole berries. The frozen berries really do hold their shape very well. You can use fresh berries if you want. I just happen to always have frozen berries. But look how beautiful. So now you've got a couple of issues here. You've got the fruit in here, the bananas and the berries, which are both sticky. You've got the cinnamon sugar that's forming a little crust around the edge. You really want to go ahead and let these cool in the pan about 20 minutes. Because what happens when you let baked goods cool in the pan like this, several things happen. One is they tend to pull away from the sides of the pan a little bit. That's going to help you in unmolding them or turning them out. The other problem is whatever you leave in the pan is going to sweat in the pan. Well, it's not really an issue with these fruit loaves because you want to keep them moist, and we are going to be able to turn them out in about 20 minutes, and just leaving them on the rack out of the pan will help dry those edges up, so they're not really going to be soggy. Your problem is going to be if you try to turn them out too early. So I'm going to wait about 20 minutes. They're still extremely hot, and then I'm going to come and take them out of the pan for you. All right, I think my breads are cool enough to turn out. I've put a piece of waxed paper here to catch any of the loose cinnamon sugar that is there. I'm taking a plastic knife and running around. These are some old pans I have. They were originally really good non-stick pans, so I'm just trying not to scratch them up anymore with a metal knife. Okay, I think this is going to loosen. Now, I do something kind of strange, I guess. I kind of test it to see if it really is going to turn out pretty easily. Yeah, this one's going to come out. Okay. Here we go. Look at all those beautiful blueberries under there. See? Yeah, I can touch it. Okay. Turning it back. And yes, it does kind of sweat in the pan, so I'm going to leave it here so that the sides will dry out a little bit. I think I might be able to. No, I'm not going to tempt fate. Excuse me. I'm sorry, cameraman. I'm going to go around this as well, just so I don't risk it. Okay. Now let's try this. Shake it a little bit. Yep. Coax it out. Gorgeous. Turning it back over and setting it down on the rack to cool. All right. Now we're fairly impatient because we've been smelling this wonderful aroma. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy up this little mess. Let me rinse my hands. I'm going to move the cutting board. And you're going to see what this looks like. Okay, here we go. Let's put one of these beauties on here. And then I'll move it back to the... You really should wait until it's totally cool to cut, but we're not going to do that. Cut the end off and save that for another time. Look at this. Wow. We'll cut palette a nice big slice. Look how gorgeous that is. Okay, now I'm going to, since he's my cameraman today, I'm going to put a bite of this in your mouth and you tell me what you think. I think I'm going to try a little piece too here.
That is delicious. It's very moist. And the blueberries are moist as well, full of flavor.
Loaded with blueberry flavor. It's delicious. I hope you give this a try. I'll hold this up again so you can see it. Beautiful blueberry loaf. It's so moist. The top is just bursting. This gorgeous, crusty cinnamon sugar top. I hope you give it a try. I'll have all the ingredients and instructions listed in the information section below. Just click on Show More. And until next time, this is Cat's Cradle and
Paladin Prepper.